Hello, welcome to this portion of this presentation. We are doing the emerging technology of autonomous vehicles.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Oliveri, and today I'm going to be talking about what is an autonomous vehicle. So, basically, autonomous vehicles are cars that drive themselves. Now, there are different levels of autonomous vehicles. There are some that fully drive themselves with no human interaction involved. You just sit there and the car drives. And there are some with partial automation, like lane assist and keeping you in the lane and kind of just directing the car, but also assisting the driver while a human still needs to be there holding the wheel or doing something. So advanced technology, which includes a lot of sensors and AI power, is helping operate the vehicle safely and efficiently. Um, the different types of levels are listed on this graphic on the right hand side, where you can see that there are different types of driver assistance, then partial automation, high automation, and then just fully automated cars that drive by themselves. So it is important to know how these things work. So how do they actually, do the things that they do? AI processing power has been huge in helping develop these cars, with the AI making decisions for the car. But the AI needs some way to gather information and make the decisions. So you use sensors that are located around the entire vehicle. And these sensors are going to basically help the AI make the decisions that it's going to make. Now, these sensors are different formats, I guess you could say. There are some that are LiDAR, which is using light detection and ranging, and it's kind of bouncing light off of different objects that are around the vehicle. And doing so is allowing the car to kind of determine the distance between the car in front of it and maybe a person, a building. Then there's also cameras that are looking at the lines on the road to keep the car inside specific lanes, because the LiDAR is not going to detect the lines. So the cameras are also needed. They can also detect like pedestrians and stuff. And radar is going to bounce off radio waves the same way that LiDAR is kind of shooting off the light waves. They're both coming back and showing distance and time in between. There's lots of calculations that the AI and the computing processing power has to make in order for these to run smoothly. But all of them working together is actually able to make the AI gather enough information to make decisions based on, the outside surroundings.
Method number one, disrupted innovation theory. Autonomous vehicles tend not to directly disrupt the personal car market, but they can interrupt services such as taxis or even delivery services.
And method number two is innovation attributes. Relative advantages are that self-driving vehicles offer less room for human errors and offers elderly or disabled people to travel more independently. Some compatibilities would be that they are compatible with highways, roads, traffic systems, like with proper updates to traffic signals. Some challenges that could remain are autonomous vehicles in high traffic areas. Complexities would be the need for advanced AI to operate the autonomous vehicles, which include real-time decision making, autonomous vehicle technology adapting to existing road systems. And then as far as trials, they've been very limited, and as far as being observed, they're being supervised in safe areas. And then method number three is technology S curve. Autonomous vehicles are in early stages of S curve. There's a huge investment in research and development. Very few companies have prototypes. As far as growth goes, the process is accelerating of areas such as AI, sensor technology, vehicle automation, and then infrastructure is also being looked at to support these autonomous vehicles. As time goes on, the maturity could show that vehicles can fully automate in time with no human drivers. This, however, is determined by regulatory changes.
Yeah, so threat to autonomous vehicles. So determine whether the technology poses a threat to any specific industry, companies, or jobs. Will these industries, companies, or jobs potentially go away because of this technology? It is not a threat. If it's not a threat, what would have to happen for it to become one? Examples of technology improvement, complementary products, regulation, etc. Autonomous vehicles are a threat to a number of industries, including taxis, public transportation, trucking, and gas. Now, I remember, I'm not sure if you guys recall this, but several years ago, Uber had inked a deal with Volvo to produce those self-driving cars, and they tried to develop the sensor technology and everything, but what would happen was the cars kept crashing. So they very quickly they I guess they got rid of the deal, and they just you never heard anything about it ever again. But you know the, the I think the technology we're a little ways away from that being a thing in this industry. But as far as it being a threat to these industries, like when Uber went did their IPO, they had like the National Taxis Association and like all these public transportation lobbyists, try to get into the pockets of the county governments and state governments to like lobby them to basically outlaw Uber. And at one point, even to this day, if you go to an airport, you can't get an Uber right where the taxis and the public transportation is. You actually have to walk a little bit a ways. You have to actually take a taxi to the Uber place to get an Uber. So that's the example of how it's a threat to those industries.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely echo what Ramsey's saying. And I just have listed some specific job positions that I thought could be a threat right now or in the future, and them being just drillers and refinery operators and bus drivers, or really any sort of public transportation that you think could be placed by autonomous vehicle technology. And then gas station owners in general, I feel like these positions in specific were at the highest risk of losing or being displaced due to technologies advancing in autonomous vehicles. And then I wanted also to discuss about it, if it's a threat right now, or how would I think about that. And I think it's a new threat that is still a little bit of ways away from really growing into its own industry, possibly. And I think that there are two different aspects as to why it's not a threat right now, even though it's currently being used. And in the first aspect that I thought of, I thought that humans may not trust the technology just yet and are not used to someone that's not a human driving. It was just an empty driving seat. I don't think that humans psychologically can really trust that lack of a human doing that job just yet. And I thought that really displayed that it's just such a disruptive innovation. And then also going beyond that, just talking about the technology itself, I don't think that it's advanced enough to deal with complex situations. And I think that moral dilemmas, especially on the road, could propose like large issues for the technology. I think that in urban and suburban areas as well. Once the technology becomes more advanced, I think it will become a larger threat, maybe even exponentially. But right now, I don't think it's quite there yet.